righty. Okay. Morning, Jess.
Morning, Robin. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I was mentioning just before, and I've said this to you in the past, thank you so much for having this conversation. I am genuinely interested in what we're going to be talking about today because we don't usually have these conversations in coaching. So, yeah, it's a chance for me also to check in and get more curious about you and the process of getting you to this point of you going on this journey of us working together. So thank you very much for having a conversation.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome.
I feel very special.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing I'm curious about is, why did you decide to hire me?
I guess I've been following you for a long time on Facebook, and pretty much every post over the years has resonated in some way with me, whether it was something that was like, oh, I feel like that, or, oh, I feel like that, but nobody ever talks about that, or sometimes just a challenging of the thought that made me think a bit deeper within myself, but a good challenge. Yeah. And I guess I've seen a psychologist for on and off for a while, and I sort of felt like I'd got to the end of what a psychologist could help me with. And I guess yours, just your little post and little snippet things that you put on Facebook, there was just something about it that I sort of felt like it was going to get a bit deeper into me, to understand me a little bit more. Yeah. And I feel has been absolutely right on the job. Yeah,
got it. Okay, so that's curious, and I'm interested in that. So you'd been following me for a while, and was there anything in particular that either triggered from your end, or was there something happening in your life, or something that just was that final? Because I think I do that. You follow people and you think, oh yeah, they're speaking my language, or that I resonate with that person's message. But I can do that for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Some of us do that for a lifetime, and it doesn't turn into action. So I'm just curious if you can recall back. If not, that's fine. But if you can recall back, if there was anything that was the trigger.
Well, I think I remember the post that you had put on. It was sort of just about having, in communicating with people, sometimes using the think of what you think to say it or not to say it. But it was, I can't actually remember 100% what the post was, but it was just sort of like, that's where I'm at. It's like, there's more of me. I'd recently separated, and I was sort of struggling with my job, and just sort of thinking there's got to be more to life than where I'm at now. Another separation, and been in my job for a long time, bit unhappy, and just felt like that there was more to me. And I guess those posts on your Facebook just seemed very genuine, very open, very exploring. And I thought that's exactly what I need. Yeah.
Yep. Interesting. I had a thought there and it's gone out of my mind. There's something I was going to ask you and it's gone now. And if it comes back, that's fine. So do you remember, you and I, because I do it with everyone, you and I had oh no, I know what the question was. I knew it'd come back to me. You mentioned you'd worked with a psychologist in the past. Had you ever worked with a coach before?
No, this is my first time. You're my first time coach. And I guess I was a little bit on the fence about things, not on the fence, but I really didn't know what a life coach sort of did. And I just reached out to you and sort of said, I loved, like I've just said, like everything you sort of talk about resonates with me. I'm sort of thinking about there's more. And when you called, like you did the half an hour call, you made me feel very comfortable. You explained everything really well of what would happen. And it was sort of like that trial as well, like obviously meeting someone, you either click or you don't. And that thing of being able to have a chat with you on the phone, I felt really comfortable. And then it was like, if we can have our session, and like if you didn't feel comfortable, then, maybe I'm not the person for you, I guess, but you've certainly been the person for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Jess. Yeah. So, what was going on in your life? You kind of touched on it, but you were saying sort of you'd recently left a relationship or recently separated, and there was things around your job. Anything else that was going on, or you knew about yourself that was happening before we started working together? What was life like?
Well, my life was quite busy, and in reflection, quite chaotic. I had my ex-partner had always said to me that I needed to slow down, that I was always too busy. I was, trying to help too many people, and I just needed to do me. But I sort of didn't quite understand that concept of how I did that, because I'd been functioning probably on the surface, everybody thought I was going quite well, but internally I was going pretty chaotic. I didn't have a very good balance of things. I was often just exhausted and worn out from trying to do everything. So I guess that was the difference. With a psychologist, they sort of help you work through anxiety and, life and all those other things. But I guess sort of since I've been chatting with you, it's actually like it's internal, like it's about what's going on for me inside and understanding all of that. So I feel like I've got a better understanding, a way, way better understanding of myself from that chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been, I always feel so privileged with people that I work with, and over the time that you and I have been working together, seeing that emerge within you has been amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool from my end of things as well.
Yeah.
I think I've been seeing you for I can't remember how long, couple of months, maybe longer. But certainly the transformation within myself has been amazing. I feel, the chaos in my head and just surrounding me is, like I'm much more peaceful, much more calm, much more sure about myself, what I want, where I'm going, what I deserve. I'm feeling, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Because I imagine if people listening to this is like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds good, and I maybe want that. But what do you think for you has been the most helpful in the process of us working together for you to get to that point?
I guess it's probably me, like what is me, what I want, what I'm feeling. And for me, I would really say it's one thing that you always said was, stay in your own lane. Don't focus on everyone else, don't be worrying about other people, worry about yourself. Certainly setting some boundaries within my life. Self-belief, I guess you really challenge that a little bit. Like I can say something and then you can just ask that one extra question that just takes it down a bit more on a deeper level, I guess, that then it's like, oh yeah, now that you say that, like I can really see that. Yeah. I don't actually know what it's just working. The way you do and the way you ask questions, the way you sort of read me and challenge that little bit deeper. Yeah. Not an uncomfortable way. It's never felt uncomfortable, but it's deeper. It feels like a bit more on a deeper emotional level, of self-awareness.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen all that. I've really been, in awe of. It's for me. It was like you were ready. You were really ready to have this conversation, even though, and this is like it is for a lot of the work. We don't know exactly where we're going to go. We don't exactly know the conversations we're going to have, but they sure enough show themselves to us.
Yeah, and I think you give that in a good platform, like you give opportunity to talk, and then sit, and then sometimes there's a little bit more that comes out that may not have, some people might then respond, and then not get to that next deeper level of what is, like there can be a surface level of a question, and then there's a deeper level, and I think you certainly give the opportunity in our sessions to get to that next level, that then opens up a deeper conversation, I guess, around why or where's that. And I think a good thing that you ask is, where has that come from? Like, why do you feel like that? Or, and I think they're sorts of things that we don't really ask ourselves, because they've always just been that way, and we just accept that that's how they are. But everything comes from somewhere, I guess. Yeah, I think if we have an understanding of where it comes from, we're better to understand ourselves. Yeah, you do a good job of doing that. Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, you're spot on with that self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yep. And where it comes from. So what's life like now? You mentioned some stuff about the job and the relationship or whatever, and I, share whatever you feel comfortable sharing with. This isn't a, this is whatever you want this conversation to be, genuinely.
Sure. Yeah.
But I am curious to hear from you, what's life like now?
Well, I feel way calmer. I'm sleeping much better. I feel more present. I'm not doing 400 million things in my little world at once and not doing anything properly. I sort of feel like I'm doing everything that I want to do. I have some really good boundaries for most things in life now, whether that's family, friends, my kids, myself. I feel much more confident. I feel much more aware of myself and where I'm going, and what I want, I guess. So I've recently, since seeing you, I've had a new job, but in the last sort of month, I'm even sort of feeling like maybe I might go and do some extra study next year. I have, as I said, we said at the start, recently separated, feel like doing some internet dating, or just experimenting with that a little bit. And I just feel way better. My head is clear, like don't feel like I've got brain fog, like I just sort of feel really good, and I genuinely feel really good. Yeah, and people are actually saying that to me as well, is like, you've got a glow about yourself, and you seem very self-aware and happy.
Yeah, interesting. I a lot of this you've shared with me over the time, and I appreciate hearing it again, but I hadn't heard about other people reflecting that back to you. I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Because as you and I know, we can have this experience within us, and it can be very meaningful to us. And sometimes there can be a bit of a lag, not always, but there can be a bit of a lag to how other people respond or reflect that back to us.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's aware of it. Yeah, people I think have noticed my, which I've noticed as well, is my bit of a step back from things, but also that's been helpful to other people as well, to sort of acknowledge that is okay to step back from things. Ultimately I guess that I'm the most important, and me looking after me is important. And I think your real friends value that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love just that one idea that you touched on, that that when we do kind of do that work on ourselves, it can have a positive ripple-on effect to other people.
Agree. Yep, absolutely. And I think if anybody works on themselves and you can see a benefit that you can see in them, obviously you then reflect on yourself a little bit and go, oh gosh, if Jess is doing that, I really notice some changes with Jess. What's she doing? I want to feel like her, or I want to make some changes in my life, and I feel like it is contagious.
That's awesome. Here's my final question, and this is the one where I always feel like a little bit vulnerable, but also completely open to, you know, whatever conversation or whatever is going to unfold from this question. What's it like working with me?
I've really loved working with you from the first time that I called you. Yeah, you laid everything out very, not matter of fact, but it was very clear what your role, what was my role, how the sessions would work. And yeah, you always open the door very invitingly, and I feel very comfortable. And I think you have a really positive energy that could help anyone, really. I think for me, it's been amazing. Like, I just feel, yeah, you know what you're talking about. And I think, yeah, I feel it's very easy. I look forward to meeting you every couple of weeks, and yeah, I feel good. I don't feel nervous or yeah, I don't feel uncomfortable at all. Yeah, it's a positive environment. Yeah, and I always walk away feeling, I can sometimes feel a bit anxious at the start just for my own anxiety, but then certainly by the end of the session I feel much lighter and, yeah, more comfortable within me, I guess. Yeah, and that's credit to you.
Us.
Yeah, well, and that's right, we have to work, you have to have the same, like, we've got to work together. You're guiding it, but you're also getting that from me as well, and you do a really good job of that. Sensing good, not good. You always ask a question, is it okay to ask? You know, you don't ever ask something that's, you know, if I don't want to talk about it, there is an opportunity to say I don't feel like talking about that now, which I think is good, because some of these things are deep conversations and they can be triggering, or yeah.
Yeah, that's important. Empowering ourselves to be able to say, this is what's okay for me, this is what's not.
Yeah, and I'm not feeling like that today, or yeah, can we not? Yeah.
Jess, anything else you want to say? Because
I think you're amazing, Robin. If I could spread the word about you and put you on my Facebook page to spread the word, I would genuinely, I think that you're amazing, and I think that you really have the opportunity to make massive impact on women and men. I know that you work with men, but certainly for me, being a woman and in this transition of life in my 40s, like, I feel you could go on the Today Show and spread. I really feel like that. You've done an amazing job with me. So thank you. Yeah. And I hope that other people get the opportunity to be able to develop and know themselves like you have helped me. Yeah.
Oh, wow, you touched my heart. I could feel the emotion is very present for me at the moment, because I feel the genuineness of the words, and I also know you, so I know the context of what you're speaking. You're an incredibly genuine and open-hearted individual, and when you speak those words, I just feel this heart gushing out at me with such genuine reflection and love. So yeah, wow,
and you deserve that. Yeah, and it's probably, as you say, you don't get this opportunity for people to say to you, so it is a genuine, yeah, thank you. And if I'll post you on the Today Show or something, if you'd like that.
Of course, I'm here for a big game. I am here for a big game, and I'm happy to have that on recorded, not here to muck around.
Good on you. Yeah.
Jess, thank you. Gee, I appreciate you taking your time out of your day and your willingness to show up in this conversation, so that other people may have the experience of what it's like to work with me. It's a truly altruistic and generous offering. So I want to acknowledge you for your energy and your commitment and the time that you take in order to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Robin.